It's time for an update, and I'm going to show you some of the maintenance things I'm going to do to the Workhorse Javelin automatic press. Coming up. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to show you some of the maintenance things that we're going to do and kind of give you a general overview as to exactly how these pneumatic machines work. They're pretty simple when you really think about it, and I'm going to show you why and some of the issues that we have to face with the press that we do have. But let's dive into it. Okay, so here's head number one. One of the things that is an issue with this one is this stroke stop. It's a little bit of a bump stop, so to speak, but this generally has a little bit of it has this same lever arm here that pinches down, and as you can see here, they were using just a bolt to go through here and a piece of rubber, so this whole piece of this aluminum track will have to be replaced. We got that on order. Generally, this is what it would look like to adjust your stroke length. And this little nylon kind of rubber bushing here, it's not a bushing, but there's a little pivot head and then a little plastic cover that goes on it, so that way it's not kind of marring up this little side rail. But you adjust this and then tighten it down, but that will be what determines how far your head goes back. And there's some springs in here. Some of these are missing some of these springs. However, we're going to show you guys exactly what we need to do to fix this step by step. But before we dive into that, there is this little drain nut that I need to take out because there's a little bit of water in the system. Not that big of a deal. It could cause issues down the line. If any of these cylinders do fail, we'll replace them as need be. So what I'm going to do is take this 9/16 wrench and I'm going to pull this plug underneath this automatic press. Okay, I decided to grab this fast food container here, pull this back out. I did know that there was some water in the system. You can just look at these traps here. However, it's not much of a big deal. I am going to show you guys how we're going to get rid of at least most of the water in the system. This is how you drain it all out. While the water is finally finishing draining out of the base, the source of this press, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to attach a couple arms. Here are the couple pieces that I did have to pull from the press. This is to fit it within a doorway, get into tight spaces. We numbered it as we did pull it from the press. We got number 4 right there, and then the complete opposite side is number 8. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these real quick. Now I'm going to take my torque wrench and then I'm going to tighten this dude down until I feel like it's in a comfortable spec. Okay, so I would say about 65 foot-pounds. Feels pretty good. Let's do the rest. I'm going to take care of head number 4. Head number 8. Now that I have arm number 4 and arm number 8 completed, assembled those, I'm going to start taking apart head number 1. I need to replace the stroke cylinder along with every single one of the heads. I'm going to replace the squeegee carriage rollers. I think it's a squeegee carriage rollers. I forget what it's called, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. UPS just showed up and dropped off our repair and maintenance parts for the automatic press. So let's go ahead and open these things up and see what I got. Alright, here is the first box. I already think I know what this one is. Here is one of the squeegee rails. On print head number 1, I showed you guys that the stroke stop was a little marred up, so I thought it would just be best to get a whole new rail. And it has hardware in here, so that's good. Here is box number 2. These are the Flashback Reflectors. Had to get a couple of those. What I basically got was a kit for both of the flashbacks. As they tend to get older, the reflectors that go over the quartz bulbs tend to get junk on them, and they'll hold more heat and cure your ink inside your screen. So this essentially will keep that from happening. And there's 2 of these reflectors that go to each of the single bulbs, and then there's a double reflector, so they look pretty nice. So a couple of those. This looks like it's probably the stroke cylinder. So here's the little cylinder. Air blows into one side and the other, pushes, opens and closes the cylinder, so to speak. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yes, good old made in China parts. Here is the main air regulator. Here is, I believe it's our secondary filter. Let me see. It doesn't necessarily say. But here is an air filter. We're going to replace that. This part cost a pretty penny, so here is the next box. And then there's a huge bag of assorted parts. Get this stuff out of the way. See if they put everything I ordered in here. Should be, this is a stroke stop right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the little indexing block. When it does come to its stop point, this comes up and grabs one of the bearings underneath the carousel. I'll show you where that goes when I go to install it. Looks like my other filter. Okay, so this must be the secondary filter here. Got one of those. Here we have the screen clamp cylinders. I ordered 4 of those. Got some additional knobs for the press. We can replace the old ones out. We'll hold on to them. Some of them are bad, some of them are still okay. Got a couple more squeegee pins. There's a couple of them that were missing. Some more stroke stop springs. Then we have our micro registration caps. A couple of the heads were missing these. Ended up getting 4 flip switches. Snap action switch, that's what it's called. So I got 4 of those for just general use. Some of them will be used for the flashback. Some of them really just are going to hang around. Use them, install them as some of these switches do tend to go out. This is the clevis part. So basically there's a cylinder that presses the squeegee down. They were missing some pins on some of those, so we're going to install those. E-clips for each of the stroke cylinders, not stroke cylinders, but the flip cylinder that flips the squeegee. Next up we have a bunch of bolts for for each of the squeegee carriages, I'm going to replace all the wheels. There's a total of 48 of these. There's 4 that go on each side, so each head requires a total of 8 wheels. Here are those little bolts that go to it. You can see those sitting in here in this bag. Also got some little caps, or these nylon caps, just to replace the ones that have worn out. Here's little nuts that go to the bolts. And then these are the little, I forget what they're called exactly, but I'll look that up. But this goes to the flip cylinder as well. And then here are the caps that go on the opposite end of these levers. This is what pinches down onto certain parts of the press. I think somebody must have had a bad day at Workhorse. I'm going to call them up, have them send the parts that they did forget. Not a big deal. I'm also going to go through his notes and do any other maintenance that he has listed. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, I appreciate it. Don't forget we are an official rep for Catspit Productions, so use our promo code Mikey Designs. If you're in the market for screen printing supplies or equipment, you'll save $5 off your purchase. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.